Oh my
Hey
god.
guys. Welcome to our very casual first reaction uh, stream for In the Cradle of Vexilon, the latest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. Hey everyone, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Hey, I'm Braxton. Rachel, the reason that I said, oh my God, when you opened up was
Mhm.
that I was like looking at Sohail and Stan and thinking that like they were in the same room for a second. I was like, oh my God, like the lighting's the same and like
I was thinking
the
it is
white
also like
wall, like,
arranged nicely where it's like the people with the cool lighting are diagonally and then the people with the like normal lighting. A little ring light.
hey guys, how's it going? I'm Braxton. Good to see you guys. Good evening, crew.
Good evening. I'm Stanley, coming at you from the pink West Coast.
This is Sohail, aka Starfleet Sohail, coming at you with allergies because I love this episode so much. I wanted to come on and talk about it, but I'm like gonna be stuffy. I
Oh.
apologize in
Aw.
You
advance.
sound so congested. I
But
didn't notice it until now.
I'm drinking this wonderful stuff that's supposed to clear up your allergies. They tell me it's like Chateau Picard, and it's a special medicinal blend. So I'm really excited.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh, is there some echinacea in that, dude?
There's something I don't know, like
Mm, mm.
nano genes or something. I'm not sure.
Um, I think just looking at Joel, I think my confidence boosting ritual is putting makeup on. So yes, putting a cute like bright lipstick on it makes me feel more confident. And then sorry, Stanley, I think I maybe cut you off before you were gonna introduce yourself.
Stan did introduce himself. You
Was
didn't
I
though.
on mute? I've done
No,
that.
I heard you.
Or
I'm
maybe
not even
my
drunk or high yet.
maybe it was a long work day. Maybe my brain is just
I'm
broken.
working on
No,
it.
maybe the
Yeah.
audience will have to help us. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, maybe everyone else is high. No, I will take the opportunity to just point out I got to drop off at the half hour mark, and I might just do that rather than interrupt and say, "Hey, I'm leaving now." So if I disappear
Ooh,
abruptly, it's either because I'm
that's
choosing
fair.
to or my internet goes out just ahead of time.
Yeah, it is. I think it moved away. If I do drop out at all, it is storming here. Which thank God it hasn't rained in months. So like, I can't help but be thrilled. But I think I'll be good. But just in case I do.
We are
Um,
also in a storm, so if something happens to me, Braxton.
it's up to you.
Hopefully, my internet signal holds out. It is a perfect 83 degree day in Maryland. There is
Ooh,
no clouds. And, like, yeah, hopefully everything will be great.
nice.
Yeah, hopefully this thing will keep going out back into the Atlantic. Let's fingers crossed.
Hopefully. So I guess what was everyone's first thoughts about the episode?
I thought this episode was cute. I do
Mm-hmm.
love tech. As we were talking, I was like unboxing this little thing that I got my niece for her 10th birthday. Like it looks like a
Ooh.
phone, but it's
Mm-hmm.
totally not. So I just wanted to like unbox it and like play with it for a second. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
wrap it up tonight. But anyway,
Cute.
I love tech. I thought it was cool that they had like visited this world and they were gonna try to fix the computer. I was like, ooh, like what are the hijinks that are gonna ensue? And then like the captain, she was like, ooh, like yeah, like I'll go ahead and fix you. And I was thinking in my mind, I was like, oh, like she's not an engineer. And then like Rance was like, "Oh yeah, like you're not an engineer. What are you doing?" And then things just go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was super cute. I liked that we were seeing a different kind of world. I think animation is
Mm-hmm.
a really great medium for doing different things. So it was cool to see that. And I also love getting new and different character traits from people that like we're in season 4 and we're learning now. Apparently, Ransom is a snobby artist as well, and I liked the little dig about artists that was jestful but loving.
Mm-hmm.
How the statues were so similar, but no, that was our best work. No, that was our worst work. And yeah, seeing the captain do some stuff we haven't seen her do before, but they gave reason for it. It wasn't just like, well, this actor needs something to do this week, so we're gonna have Bashir on the bridge for some reason during the battle. I liked it. It was super cute.
I thought it was interesting. She had a minor in archaic technology. I
Archaic
was like,
technology.
ooh, like,
I appreciate it as someone whose minor doesn't really like apply that much to like their job. Like I have a mass communication with a focus on electronic media, and then I'm an English minor. Like,
I loved this episode. I love the ring, like the Dyson sphere concept of like this like ring around this planet. I also like the Star Trek I think, presents a lot of like singular utopias that are kind of boring, and like this, like the Baku village, they're just like artisans like making artisanal bread, like it takes 5 years to bake and stuff, like, or like whatever. And so I really love that, like there's this world where AI actually was used to kind of AI. It's like not realistic, but it's an ideal that's interesting to think about, especially since we're seeing so much AI and in our world today. And then as a technology person, and as someone who's worked in and works in technology, I could relate to just the idea of like, oh, what do you mean I have to help you with this Windows 95 computer? like that runs everything, and your whole life is on this computer, so it was super
too
relatable.
Like right before while in a meeting today, I had to restart my work computer because I was just like, it's running so slow that like I have to. And I just found it so like, yep, that's exactly how working with computers is, and it's so frustrating.
It is so frustrating. But yeah. So and then there's lots of layers. I loved. I was kind of like, not feeling the whole lieutenant thing at first. Like I was like, I miss them being ensigns. Like, but they have to grow. They have to change. They have to get promoted. And the show's just like, without getting really specific into my life story or whatever, I'm sure everyone can find something, but like there's just so many really cool relatable things that Boimler was doing that reminded me of like when I was first like stepping into like middle management assistant, or like just getting that first promotion at like a job where you had a little more authority, and you were given a team or something like that. It's like just a lot of nostalgia around that. And then the final thing I'll just say is that like T'Lyn for the win. I mean, like T'Lyn is my husband, my new forever husband, Star Trek husband. That's it. Like that's it's down to that, and that's it. So those are my impressions.
T'Lyn for the win. I love it.
I love her. While watching this episode, I just kind of this moment, I was like, am I gonna cosplay T'Lyn? Like I was like, it feels likely at this point. I just gotta get some ears, or just she'll wear headphones, then you can't see my ears. I genuinely love the episode for many reasons. I thought the computer stuff was really fun, and I also was really relating to Boimler not like knowing how to deal with like, wait, all of a sudden I'm in charge. I would say my current job is like the first time I've had like a promotion there, where I was like, I started out at the bottom, and I remember when I was first getting there, I was like, what makes me different? Why am I now the one that's like gets to choose this? Why am I now the one who's like helping people? And I'm like, this is a mistake. And it's like growing, and sometimes being like, oh, understanding that I can help people, and I have to step back and not be like, do everything for them. Like I found that very, very relatable.
I think I agree with Jill that T'Lyn is like one of the most exciting characters. They're just, and like sorry, what's the name of the actor who plays her? Gabrielle. I'm blanking.
It's with an R, isn't it?
Ruiz, thank you. She's
Yeah.
so awesome too. She's like
Mhm.
she like anyways, like she's killing it with the delivery of like the Vulcan. But I love that Talin kind of I suspect she understands empathy, or at least is trying to use empathy to relate to humans a little bit better than
Mhm.
I think Vulcans typically do. And I don't know, it's just like really cool to see her interacting with Brad. Do you guys ship them? Like, are we shippy about them? I mean, or is that like a thing? I know someone
Oh,
like I
I'm
kind of
not.
want
Now
to.
that you're saying that, I'm not against it. Like, I think
Yeah,
that could be cute.
I think so too. I mean,
I
Boimler's
actually,
cuter with me, but yeah, I mean, like I think Celine would be all right.
You know,
now
I
that
don't
you're
know, dude.
saying
Like,
that, think I kind of like it.
I feel like Boimler is such like a screw up, dude. Like when Talin was like, "Oh yeah, like you're exemplary in all these ways, and like it's in your record." I'm like, I feel like I remember him being kind of bumbling. Like, yeah, maybe he's smart and like stuff works out like a lot
I
of
mean,
times, but I
it's.
don't know. To me, he's not the most competent officer. I don't know that
I
I
don't
think
know
of
that
him as
he's
exemplary.
the most competent, but I feel like it's because we're seeing him beginning of his career. But there is something to be like, he doesn't give up. He doesn't like, and he. I mean, you've got that. He's gonna save all the Borg babies if it's possible, kind of
Mhm,
mentality.
mhm,
Got 100% on that test. I've never thought of him as not competent. I thought
Yeah.
it's mostly a confidence thing, and maybe that's just because
Mhm.
I sometimes love slash hate to admit that Boimler is probably the character in all of Trek I am probably closest to and most relate to. Um, for me, it's a confidence thing. Like anybody can get into his head, and it's not even like a trope. We see it in almost every episode, but it's not
Mhm.
tropey. Like Talin in this episode was way in his head, like both for good and bad. I think he
Mhm.
takes. This is something I tend to do as well. He'll take on criticism a little too harshly and overcorrect.
Oh, I understand. I relate to that.
How many tens of
Mhm.
people do you think were killed by those falling crystal clouds?
Oh my gosh.
Like, I feel like
Hopefully they had
70
like really
people were
strong
killed.
umbrella. Hopefully some of those statues were really good cover and they can save people.
The disasters were kind of cool. I like the instant freezing clouds, you
Mhm.
know.
Oh, they were
It
freezing. Oh, okay.
right? Weren't they like forming turning into ice and then just
I
falling
think
and
so.
yeah,
That's what I
Okay.
thought. Kind
Okay.
of like
Yeah.
Interstellar.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now you're on mute, Stan, I think. No, you're not. Sorry. My headphones are getting old. And they're
Uh
like the newfangled Apple ones too, so I don't know.
they shouldn't be that old. They can't be that old then, right?
Well, they're a few years old. I got them like right when they came out, but like I think I just beat them up a little bit. I don't know, they have like dents and stuff in them.
Oh.
What did you take them outside, Jen?
Yeah, I do everything with these.
Oh, really?
I hate the in-ear things.
Mm. Mm.
I know I started
Anyway.
doing out of here's my I kept getting like blemishes in my ear from like wearing like in-ear headphones too much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I know. My a doctor because at first I was like, "What is this?" The doctor's like, "It's calm down. It's a pimple." Like just just take it. But it was like I was like, "But it's in ear. That's weird." Um. Yeah, and I thought it was really funny that like the people in that they figured out that they were being hazed, and then they were like, "But no, they couldn't. They would never." Like,
That dude was such a jerk.
yeah.
I hated him so much. I didn't feel sorry for him when he was sad, like at the end.
Um. I feel bad. That ferret gets out a lot, I guess.
Lancelot.
Hmm.
so
I
so
love that the
like
name Lancelot. That's a super cute
Yeah.
callback to the hype. What is it? Hylian. Uh,
Hylian, yes. Is it
the,
Hylian? Right, yeah.
yeah, the cosplay of Loved it.
I have to watch more classic Trek episodes because, like, I feel like I don't remember accurately like all the things that they're pulling from. Like, I remember like the girl with Alan Moraine.
Oh, you call
themselves.
DS9 classic
Yeah.
Trek, Braxton? Oh my gosh.
Oof. We're
Well, I
all
mean,
getting old.
I mean, you know, that's like 30 years ago, dude. Like,
It's true. You're right.
isn't stuff that's 30 years
I
ago
just
like
don't want to
classic?
face
out-
it.
I'm gonna point out. I'm sorry if this is gonna make you feel old. Deep Space Nine is the age of me. So
Oh my gosh.
I saw somebody point out on Twitter the other week that we are as far removed from Voyager as Voyager was from the original series now.
Oh my gosh.
cool.
Let that-
Chill.
Let that marinate.
Can we call this
Yeah.
segment, if we do this on the salon, can we call it senior moments?
I'm gonna point
Jill's
out. I
right.
feel like
In a sense,
especially
it
any
is
Trek,
classic Trek.
any Trek that came out in a year starting with a 1 probably counts as classic at this point.
It's like how bartenders can look at your ID and if they see
Yeah.
19, they're just like, get out.
Mhm.
I am so thankful that somebody actually bothers to look like it. Quick aside, I was the youngest of my friends when I lived in San Francisco. Here, I'm like the oldest because I'm in these improv classes with all these youngins. And whenever we go hang out afterwards, they're all getting carded, and the people are just like, "No, go ahead." I'm like, I just need you to pretend, okay? Like
Just
the
card.
white beard makes me look older than I actually am, and I'm older than everybody I'm with. I don't care. Ask for my damn ID.
Apparently, everyone thinks that I look younger than I am because I get carded, and then people go, "Huh? I've been told you look really good for your age," which is weird to hear at like 28.
It's
I'm
weird to
like-
hear any age.
Yeah.
Any age.
But I was told like I was at a family dinner, and my dad didn't love his youngest child being told you look good for your age.
Do we know how old Talin is? Because
I have no-
Vulcans can be, she can be like 100, and that's young,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's like
I think so. Yeah.
Or 50. 50 is like
Mm.
30.
I was
like,
gonna say, I
whatever.
feel like she's in her 50s. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where her wisdom comes from, because she has that kind of like, she did a good job with Boynes. I can't believe
Yeah.
I pulled us back into this.
job.
Sorry, audience, if you still want our senior moments, we can go back to
I think Talin is too good for Boimler, and she can do better.
Who knows? Maybe Boimler's a little goofiness. Maybe it would lighten her up. Maybe it'd be good for her.
I think so too.
I like that we're not seeing any relationships in the main cast, though. I like Shax and Ta'ana. That's really cute and funny. Like, I would not mind seeing Rutherford and Tendi move in that direction. The slow burn that they're doing is really great. It's not going to be weird if and when it happens. Obviously, Boimler and Mariner is a non-starter, and I'm super glad that they haven't even hinted at it.
No, it's because I went to the show like expecting that to be the thing, just from like, no, and then I remember watching it. I'd be like, oh, I don't think so. Like, no, that's not the chemistry at all.
I personally still am shipping Rutherford and Billups.
Oh, you're not wrong there. No, you're not.
All right.
Rutherford is transsexual. I like.
Yeah.
Except, yeah.
Although at some point I feel like Billups also might just be Ace. Slash like
Yeah.
Ace.
No, I think Billups is right. Isn't he established as Ace?
Mm-hmm.
Or like
not with the word, but I feel like he is.
Not with the
but
word,
like
but
a
like his
romantic.
actions.
So didn't he hook up with that couple, like on his planet? Like,
no, it never happened.
They end
right?
up stopping it right before.
Yeah.
They saved him just before.
Snuggle Tower. That's right. Oh my gosh, that was in this episode, right? He was. What is a snuggle tower? That's what I want to know. What does that look like? Have any of y'all been in a snuggle tower?
I mean, it sounds cozy.
It does?
It sounds like a great place. You put a little light in there. Just let me read. You know.
It sounds very hot. I feel like I'm just sweating just thinking about it.
What's the maximum amount of people that you can snuggle with when that it's too hot? It's like, oh, we're sweating now. Like
I
under
don't know.
normal conditions.
For me, it's one on either side.
Mm-hmm.
If there are six behind the one next to me, fine. But like I cannot have more than one person on at least one side of me because I need to be able to get out and cool down or go to the bathroom.
Snuggle
I
towers
say-
are how they prepare you to survive on ice planets. That's
Honestly, pretty recently in Texas, just nothing. No, just get away from
Oh
me.
yeah,
It's too hot.
Like- Maybe that's why I'm not a snuggler. I'm in Miami. It's always hot here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the concept, but then it gets too hot.
Right.
Mhm.
Of course, I keep my apartment at 68 degrees, so it's cuddle weather here all the time.
I like cuddling with my brother's small dog. She's just a little space heater. And then I also, when I could just pick her up when.
Oh.
I'm trying to think what else. What do we think of singing the Wadi game again?
Loved it.
Although, I was trying to figure out the timing of like when did this guy get stuck as a kid? How they had the game long enough? And at the end, I was like, oh, he was making that shit up. Okay, never mind.
Hold on, Rachel, what game did you say?
Oh,
the Wadi game.
The
Alan
Wadi game.
Moraine.
Yeah.
Lemon meringue. I love that.
Lemon
meringue. What I love the most about that scene is the best diss I've ever heard in Star Trek was delivered by the little metal chest. Which was
back board dicks, motherfucker.
Yes, I loved that so much more than I ever thought I could love a diss or a
that's gonna come up in the salon.
Yeah, it was so good.
Dude, what was the diss, dude?
It was eat a bag of Borg dicks, motherfucker. That was and then wait, and then Teddy just is like, oh, I didn't realize Dr. Tiana came in here.
Oh,
it was like that's like gotta be something that Dr. Right, exactly. So that was the best part about it. It was like I could totally hear the doctor saying
and Tindy didn't mean it as an insult at all.
Right,
she was just
right.
like,
She's just like
I like that Tindy got a little testy in this episode. Like seeing a different side of her. Like again, I love the character development in this show. I think is a good example for any franchise. It's subtle at times. Then sometimes you're like, oh, this is really weird. Like, why? But then there's always a reason. It was super great. And seeing Tendi be testy was a really cool thing today.
Definitely. And the line, and obviously I don't know anything about it. It almost sounds improv in the best way of just like so just off the cuff being like, oh, that was obviously Dr. Tana said that. Like,
yeah. And I wondered about lemon meringue. I wondered if that was Tawny Newsome.
That sounds like a good Tawny Newsome one. I want to know. So at after the game, the box gets hit. The Betazoid like gift box gets hit by the inner light probe, and then it's like, I missed my wife, and I was like, I need to see that. What? Like,
it's got to be the same thing, Picard. It's just what's hilarious about it is that he lived that whole life as a box, like the same exact life. Like he was just like this box that they carry here.
Like, talking to Fathery about it because in the inner light, everyone kind of looks human to like make Picard believe. Does everyone look like a box in his version?
I bet you that's true.
The more I think about it, the funnier it is.
We've got an exclusive. Can we play this here on the reaction?
An exclusive.
So. I think.
Yeah.
Let me. Should I? I think, Father, to do this, I need to add you back to the stage, right?
Oh, engineering. No, he can do it from the backstage.
Oh, he can?
Yeah.
I don't know how this works well enough.
Engineering.
In the season 4 episode of Lower Decks in the Cradle of Vexilon, when Boimler dies his first death.
Oh, we're rewinding. Okay.
Did you know in the season 4 episode of Lower Decks in the Cradle of Vexilon, when Boimler dies his first death, the afterlife is crafted after the Red Room from Twin Peaks. Boimler encounters the Great Koala, and also like in Twin Peaks, he has a backwards masked message.
It is not your time, Edward Boimler.
I thought he was saying something like that. I figured it was backwards or whatever. And I haven't seen Twin Peaks. I thought that was a Beetlejuice kind of room. So that's really cool.
Immediately, because I'm thinking of for something that is planned, not involving this really. Was thinking about like doing something with Twin Peaks, and then I was just thinking about Twin Peaks for the first time in a while, and then I was like, Twin Peaks, like.
By the way, Rachel, I'm just gonna react to that. That's the first time I've ever seen it, and Aaron Harvey, dude, made that, right? Like, kudos to you.
Yes, he did.
Amazing, great job. Like, I thought that was excellent. I think that where is that on TikTok? Put that shit on TikTok right now. Get it on TikTok. Yes.
Actual question: is there a TikTok?
Tex-Trek TikTok. I think there is actually a Tex-Trek TikTok. TikTok, talk.
I could do the repost function for mine.
And it's gonna be it's already published, I think, or it's gonna be published as a YouTube short.
You think it's on YouTube Short and Instagram now?
Yeah.
I'll ask Father about if he.
Or check the chats. Check the chats. We got him live in the chats. Both of them are there.
What's funny is I don't actually get a ton of views on TikTok for my Star Trek stuff. I just refuse to stop making it. And TikTok, there's nothing to encourage it. They're like, make stuff about these other things. I'm like, no. I mean, I will make stuff about this other thing that also interests me, but I refuse to like only make stuff about one thing. But yeah, I thought that was really fun. It was like, I also loved like it was like anyone who knows Twin Peaks, it was like immediate, like, oh, that's what that is. But I liked that it worked outside of that, where it's like, obviously, like, oh, he's in another world, like, beyond life and death kind of thing. Like, it was pretty, I liked that, like, you didn't need the reference to, like, get that, like, what was going on. And also the koala's back.
Also, that's the second, like, I Miss My Wife reference.
Yes, like, two episodes in a row.
Two different things. Just
who misses their wife?
The box said that.
The box said that after his experience. Like, that was interesting. I thought that was
last week, the bartender hologram said, "I miss my wife." After the wife that was deleted.
Oh, we saw Black Mountain. That's right, Joel. Thank you very much. So the Black Mountain, it's so scary to me. Lower Decks is awesome.
Rutherford kind of knows what's up with it.
Well, yeah, because he was told, like, he found out the information, right? He was like, "Oh, it's gonna change you forever," and it did. It like freaked him out. That was really funny. What I love the most about Lower Decks in general is just like how relatable it is to anyone who's like worked in any kind of like team environment. Like like they've like managed to. I always thought of like, I like to say this a lot, which is Star Trek: The Next Generation was really, you know, of course I loved it. It was Star Trek or whatever, but it was really useful to me as a young person going into the corporate world, because like whenever there was like a conflict or a problem, I would be like, oh, this is how they handled it on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Let me just try that. And it would work every time. It was great. Like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, Star Trek Next Generation, like, gave me the tools to be a diplomatic, like, kind of effective office environment person, you know, like, or whatever, team environment person. So I love Star Trek for that weird connection that it's always had to my career, like, you know, throughout life or whatever. and Lower Decks was like super cathartic because it like totally is continuing to do that, and like it adds like amazing layers, like just like it just adds like a lot of layers to it, like for example, like just like the California class being like a lower class vessel, and like the lower just like all these things. So I love that aspect of it, and I thought it was very well done here with the hazing stuff, because like everyone hates being hazed. It's like like the big question I guess I have is like, do you guys think it's funny what they did to the lower deckers, or and like maybe
I
like, or do you think hazing is something that really society should just like get rid of it? It's time to end hazing
I'm
forever.
not much of a hazing person, especially because
Neither
it's
am
like,
I.
what a waste of time
Yeah,
for these
it's
people.
true.
Like, what if there's an actual emergency that came up, like their friend dying on a planet? Um,
Well, but like it would, I guess, prepare you to deal with like species like the Nausigans. Like I don't know, like I think there could be uses to like consensual hazing or like
mhm.
or like exposure to hazing scenarios, so you can deal with like cultures that maybe do have a more aggressive
Mhm.
relationship hierarchy, or like a relationship norm, I guess. Would it be like I don't know what the correct I, I'm not like a anthropologist. Help me out, anthropologists in the audience.
Any anthropologist just hanging around.
If you guys, yeah, any anthropologists I can, just help me figure this out. But anyway, maybe I'm getting a little too deep here on the lower on the lower decks. Can't
This
do
is true. I would say, not like I could still like hang out with these people
That's
because
a
they
good
didn't
point.
do anything like heinous. Like obviously in real life, the reason they had to ban hazing is like it got dangerous and like people died. Like nothing got to
Yeah,
that level in this episode.
especially I feel like it was a big deal. I remember growing up hearing about like fraternities like phasing
Hmm.
it out or like toning it down because it was like people were dying. Maybe I think
Yeah,
like it was like
I
kind of
think it's
scary shit. Like yeah,
there
and of
was a
course the
mix of people
military.
were
Yeah,
like that and people were getting hurt and also there was a pressure to drink to the amount that was not safe, especially when you're underage and then feel like, oh, I can't go to the hospital because I don't want to get in trouble. And then I feel like maybe we've made drinking a little too taboo to the fact where people don't know how to do it responsibly because they're trying to keep it a secret. Um, oh, that's actually a really good point, Joel. Rutherford could have totally been hazed before. He just doesn't remember.
what was that the first time we heard him being called Ruthy? And do you guys like the nickname Ruthy? I'm not sure how I feel about Ruthy.
I don't like it.
It's fine with it, but I was like, I trying to remember who called him Ruthy.
It was Mariner. Mariner calls him
Oh,
Ruthy. She's like, I don't know, Ruthy, or something like that.
yeah.
And then like, when did we see Dirk before? I was trying to remember. He was the guy who's like, move over lower deckers or something like that, right? Like when they're coming in like episode 1. And, like he's been
Oh,
around. I
maybe.
just
I think
remember.
he's been around, but I don't know. I couldn't place him enough to be like, this is exactly where he's from. What
um,
was funny is on the planet with Boimler, the first time I watched the episode, the character I now realize when I put subtitles on, he said Big Merp.
oh
I thought
right,
he said
right.
Murph, like Murph, and I was very confused.
Oh, cause like it could have like, cause right, Lower Decks takes
Mhm.
place after Prodigy, so like Murph could have grown up into Big Murph. Oh, that's
I don't
interesting. But
know.
you're right.
That's why I got really confused. I thought maybe they just had a similar name, but I was like, but then when I watched it in subtitles, I was like, oh, that's not the same name at all. It just when I wasn't listening with subtitles, I couldn't quite tell what he was saying.
Wait a second. Stephen W. Fothery in the audience is saying that Mariner calls him that frequently. So I don't remember that. Like that's weird.
That's what
Frequently?
I was thinking. Like I couldn't remember, but I was like, I feel like that's not super new.
And yeah, it took me a second, but Dirk has
Yeah.
been around since episode 1.
Mhm.
Mark Boyd
I-
in the audience says frats in Texas were out of control not too long ago. Jeez.
I will say, the year I graduated college, my school ended up banning Greek activity because someone passing away at a party. Like,
Oh wow.
and this is in
Mhm.
Texas. Like,
Have we seen
Mhm.
hazing in Starfleet before on Star Trek?
um,
I feel like we have, but I can't put my finger on it. Like I just have it.
would you say that like, oh, the episode is it Shore Leave, the one where they go to the like planet where it's making all the weird fantasy stuff happen, but you have apparently Kirk's old bully apparently used to always play pranks on
Oh
him.
yes, Finnegan. How could I forget
Yes.
Finnegan? You're right. That's true. That is excellent.
I
Yeah,
would imagine
he's
like
like
what
bull.
they're
I think he.
describing would be hazing.
Yeah, he was bullying, and he's a bully, and he
Mhm.
was definitely hazing Kirk. Yeah, 100%. All right, good
Yeah.
job. That was a good one. That's like an ultimate
I
callback.
just
Going back
always
to
remember
TOS.
Finnegan
Father
is
would be
just
proud.
Finnegan is such an insane character that I always remember him because like remember that weird Irish stereotype that just pops up like
Would you like to skip over real quick to Stranger Worlds? We can't spend too much time on it, but
yeah.
would you like to see Finnegan appear?
Ooh,
On...
that would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be
Have a
interesting.
weird he could have an accent off with Scotty.
Oh my.
um that is that's really interesting, Jill.
Would it, if any actor is now a Buddhist monk? Oh, that's actually pretty. Yeah,
That's it's
pretty.
really cool, but like
Oh, do you
I
guys think that Vexilon was like a nice version of Armus? Because like he was like, oh, my designers like evolved and left me here.
ooh,
Like, it was like,
maybe.
it's like- and what do you think? Like, do you think humans would you be
Oh.
down for a computer just like doing all the work, everything that is like that you need a laborer to do, except like artistic pursuits,
As
which
long as it doesn't
truly
try to write my book for me, I would be good. Like,
right, exactly. You would.
or make
That's
the
the thing.
cover.
What would be off limits is like anything creative because that's what I think humans should be able to develop to
Yeah.
like whatever. So like they would kind of be like I feel like the Baku are a hidden technology civilization, and so are
Mhm.
these people. What were they called? The by the way, there's a really cool poster that Aaron made. I keep like promoting
Oh
Aaron's stuff.
yeah, the
Yeah, it's
poster
true.
is really cool.
Really cool. Yeah. But like, so these like the reason I don't know why I'm just so fascinated with like the idea that maybe like what if like because like if you don't have money in the future and like humans are just trying to
Mhm.
humanity, not just humanity, sorry, all species are just pursuing a betterment, like that's science and art, right? Like that's what everyone would kind of do. You'd fall into those two pursuits because the only thing hindering the advancement in both those areas is like crappy work that we have to do, like clean
Mhm.
dishes or like like sleep. Like we're no, I don't know, I'm going too far now.
Don't take away sleep is good for
Yeah,
you.
I
Don't
love
take away my
sleep too.
sleep.
I agree.
I
I
want
agree.
to I like my bed and snuggling up in it.
Oh, Ortega's does haze. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's
That
right.
is someone had pointed out earlier this one too is also hazing as an example. See, I'm better with like this than like an amount of work, the amount of work for that one where it's um it's just like a little practical joke, but like it's not like, "Oh my god, do all of this work that's useless." Um First duty. Oh Jesus, that was not hazing. That was
I do appreciate that,
you know
like
what? Jill has a good point. Someone needs to know how to fix the computer, and also don't plug a kid into it.
Oh yeah, this was like a reference to that TNG society that kidnapped the kids because they also had that
Oh
right like because the computer like
no,
made
I
them
think this
infertile.
is
Oh
first
no,
season Strange New Worlds. Is I think what this is referencing. That woman Pike had a history with, and it turned out they were like getting that kid ready to be the like mainframe of the computer.
no, but like oh right, but like we didn't need that like we didn't need like a person sacrificing themselves in this. But like,
Yeah.
but wasn't there an episode where like a whole society was like devoted to the arts, and they like taught this one kid that they kidnapped how to like carve a dolphin out of wood in TNG like because it like
Yeah, they
but
also
they're
I'm trying to remember. Were they all? I'm trying to remember what episode it is because they kidnap Wesley. It's
right
that
they kidnapped Wesley too yeah
none of them can have children.
because the computer was like leaking radiation or some weird
Yeah.
crap and then it's also breaking down and they have no idea how to fix it so like
Hmm.
they wanted to steal the kids and they wanted the Federation to like or maybe I'm conflating two episodes.
I
I
I
could
can't
also be
remember if
doing
they
that.
wanted the Federation to fix their computer. It's not a favorite episode of mine, so it's been a while since I've watched. I think it's an early TNG episode, right?
Braxton doesn't know what we're talking about because it's classic Trek.
I mean, I've seen. I've watched all the Gandhi shows and Enterprise. But it's just like remembering some of the stuff. Like I just don't remember some of the stuff.
I barely
Ah,
remember. Yeah. Jill
there we
said I'm
go.
right, so that's a good sign. Oh, when the bow breaks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Season one,
Um,
a lot of season one going on here. That's cool.
I was right. Pretty early TNG.
Yeah.
And then I think so. It was their cloaking device they're trying to fix. It's been like I know what episode we're talking about. It's just it's been a while.
That's right. Oh, the planet like disappears or something. Yeah, it's like it was a fictitious
Mhm.
planet. Not a it was like a legendary planet and like
Yes.
they were like yeah, that's right. That's right.
I also
Which by the
remember
way, that was
finding.
cool DS9 episode, the phasing planet. Sorry. We're getting
Oh, you
great.
mean Space Brigadoon?
Yes, that's
Okay, actually, on Discotheque, we actually got to interview the writer of that. I basically asked him, I was like, "Was it? It's supposed to be Brigadoon, right?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I got the confirmation I needed."
that's awesome.
Um,
Aldea. Oh my gosh, in the land of Aldea,
yeah.
far away, deep within the wings of the great bird of the galaxy.
This is
Mhm.
this is true. I do remember also thinking because they also steal Wesley because it's a bunch of little kids and then this teenager. It's just like
They're like, we need an older one to control the little ones so they don't get
Yeah.
scared that we kidnap them from
But
their
the thing is,
parents. It's like-
immediately Wesley is like, "I'm gonna help them rebel against this." What? Where's my mother? Like,
It's worth a rewatch. Also, you can go check it out on Starfleet Sohail, formerly Starfleet Boy, on YouTube. We did that episode like 7
Ooh.
or 8 years ago. Yeah. So, um,
um,
the only other thing, going back to the computing for a second, like I love the whole safe mode reference. Like it was just, I like.
oh yeah.
By the way, I got an Xbox. No, I did that on purpose. Sorry, not an Xbox. I'm sorry. I got a PlayStation just recently. I can't believe. Sorry, I'm not a gamer, but I just joined Star Trek Online. Are you guys on that? Are you on Star Trek
I
Online?
okay, I played a while ago on my because I used to live with my brother and I played on his PS4, but he just gave me his old PS4, so I'm gonna see if I can start playing again.
Just fine. I'm Starfleet Boy on there. I
Yeah,
decided.
I'm
to keep
pretty
Starfleet
sure
Boy on
I'm
there, so
Dromadark
yeah.
884. I
Oh,
haven't
right on.
been able to mess with the PlayStation because right off this room right now it's a little bit of a mess and I need to clean it up before I'm making myself clean it up before I set up the stuff with the TV as motivation. But no, it's running. So part of my job is I train people, and then when they get their computers, I have to help them set it up. And basically, it's the fucking setting up that computer. It's a goddamn nightmare, and I just related to it so much. God, setting up computers is the worst.
Yeah, Ruthy's kind of like whatever. So Aaron pointed out that like all last season there were like a couple like times that
Mhm.
was happening. Maybe I blocked it mentally because I just don't like it either, like Jill.
I don't mind the nicknames coming from their last names because I feel like they barely like it's
I would
that
not like my name to be Fazzy. No one call me Fazzy ever, please. Thank you.
um I'm fine
Oh,
with
Braxton's
Bloomy.
like, I'm gonna call you Fazzy.
I feel like Bloomy's kind of cute,
The Bloomy is kind of cute, actually.
but actually I had at a previous
McNeely.
job, I had one of the IT guys last name was like Blumenfield and he worked there before me and he was like Bloomy. The problem is at some point I was a social media person. At some point someone was like told people ask Bloomy for help like with the computer and people kept coming to me and I'd be like I am not the IT person. This is Bloomy. Like
I have been the IT person many times, but when I'm not the IT person, I'm always reluctant to help anyone with IT stuff
um the problem
because
is I
it's
don't know
hard work.
why
I
people
hate it.
think social media person's good at IT stuff. I don't know what about my communication degree that makes people think I can fix the inside of a computer. Because there's nothing about my communication degree that would help me fix the inside of a computer.
I find that it's more like older people that like are like, "Oh, you're young, you must know everything about computers." That's been my experience, like, which
And
kind of for me it's true. I do know a lot about computers, but like I think that's what I've seen. Like,
the
yeah,
problem at like the job is that people would ask me to do stuff on my computer, but I had a cheap Chromebook because I started as an intern. And I'd be like, my computer literally can't handle this. It can barely handle opening a web page.
Jill is despairing because it seems like we don't have a lot to talk about this episode, but I have a lot of notes actually. If you want me to, like, can we talk about Tellurite slop jazz? Like, that's kind
I
of
want to
awesome.
hear it.
Yeah.
I think the problem is I like this episode. It was really funny, and so like, there's not a lot to say about that. It's like, besides like let's repeat jokes.
There is a thing. I think like there's like new things that are like there is like, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of repeat in Lower Decks, but I think there's new things that they're experiencing as lieutenants, which I kind of find fascinating. But in a sense, that sounds wet. That was a great
Oh, I did love Mariner is mostly mad because she's liking it.
Yes, that's true. That's how I experienced jazz. I was a hardcore classical person as like a young person and a teenager, and then people were like, "Oh, you gotta listen to jazz. Jazz is great." And then Riker, of course, you know, with his jazz stuff, right? So I was like a reluctant jazz person too. So I love that. Like Mariner was like, I kind of like this because that's how I feel about jazz, which I love now. Jazz is amazing. Do you guys like jazz?
Yeah, my dad likes jazz a lot, so.
Right on. What about you, Braxton?
My dad plays the saxophone.
No, not really.
So.
I mean,
What
you
about
know,
that?
like I'll be in a space and like it's cool, it's tolerable, but I don't play it, you know.
Have you ever?
You know,
What about like smooth jazz?
dude, all I do is listen to like pop queens and like 90s and
There-
80s music, you know, but like
Lots of
mostly pop
ballads
queens.
feature saxophones, so that's like a step in the jazz ocean. I feel like you should come with us. I'm gonna make you a playlist.
Oh wow, dude, make me a playlist, dude.
Thank you. I shall. I will do this. I will do this for you, Braxton, without hazing.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
I like jazz, although when I listen to instrumental music, I tend to listen to more like classical styled, at least. Like I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks, like when I'm writing stuff.
Mm.
Do you guys think that Star Trek Lower Decks will be like The Simpsons, where it'll just like keep going and we'll get like newer lower deckers all the time, or do you want it to like end with these guys? Like, do you want it to only be about these characters? Because like there is a little weirdness going on when they became lieutenants. Now they're introducing us to these other like ensigns, like Ensign Gary, right? Like, right, you know, like there's some like new people, and I'm like,
mind
oh, those are like the new lower
going
deckers.
on. It's more that I really like the show, so whatever way I keep getting this show is like kind of my thought process.
I am so what's the word, like paranoid, like just scared that Paramount's gonna just like cancel anything at any time. Like just
I
like no, it's like
same. Like, so now I feel the need to be like, anytime I'm like, hey Paramount, I like this. I like it a lot. I will
yeah.
keep
Like,
watching it. Also, if you made merch
I've
for these
also
things, I
I've
would
bought
buy
all
it.
the physical media. By the way, here is I was like save all the shows. So I just bought Lower Decks. Uh, this is season
I was
2.
I almost bought it when I was in a Walmart, except I realized it was a DVD and I'd rather have a Blu-ray. Like, if something's
And here's
available on
season
Blu-ray,
3.
Mhm.
I'm gonna buy a Blu-ray.
So yeah, I'm supporting physical media also because since I'm such a lover of Star Trek, even if I'm not a huge fan of a certain show, I want to have it. Like I want to have it in my library to like
Well, at this
reference
point,
or like watch the. Yeah.
I after what happened to Prodigy, I'm more like, oh, this could like just go away and maybe it won't be on any streaming service.
Yeah, it's
Um,
true. It's true. And they get leased out all the time. Like I remember
yeah,
the old days, like for a long time Netflix just had like everything, but then it like
yeah.
went to Paramount Plus and then it was on HBO. I don't know, it's like it's weird.
I would just like things to um yeah, Father was telling me this and I love a commentary track. I just need things to not cost money. That would be great. Can I just have them and not have to pay
Well,
for them like in Star Trek?
that's the thing about physical media. And one of the reasons that I chose this gift of a PlayStation was because it has that ultra UHD 4K Blu-ray technology reading ability, so I can like stay up to date and play video games, which is really exciting because it's a
Mhm.
good stress reliever in these stressful times. To play a few video games here and there, especially Star Trek ones.
Have you played
I'm a
Star Trek Resurgence?
No, I'm interested in Star Trek Online because I owe it a deep. I've been fascinated with it for years, so I'm willing to do that. What I'm obsessed with right now is Jedi Survivor. I'm playing that, and it's
Jedi
my
fantastic.
Survivor is
plan is
very good, dude.
once I get the PlayStation 4 set up that I just got from my brother is trying to say Star Trek Resurgence because
Oh,
I
okay, I'll
was
have to
gonna
get
play it and then it turned out it just wasn't available on anything I own. I have a MacBook and I have a Switch and it wasn't on either of those.
it.
But now you got a PS4.
But now I have a PS4, so we're
Now
gonna.
you do. Oh, I can't wait to find you. So how does it work? Like, do you just hail someone? Is like hailing
It's like
frequencies
someone. I also
open
have
and
not
like
played this game. My brother
yeah.
moved out in 2020. That is the
Okay.
last time, and I probably hadn't played for it with a little bit because what you say the year. What it used to happen is with my brother's PS4, and he would go out with his friends. I would go and play on his PlayStation. Well,
Father
for a certain
Father
he.
does. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying, my brother just stopped going out in 2020. So even though the PlayStation was still there, he was usually using it.
Gotcha. But Father does like streaming game stuff. Maybe we could like do a collective stream on Tex-Trek where all
Ooh.
like, I don't know how it works, like
I
space
will
battles or
say, because
whatever.
you said you got a PlayStation, right?
PlayStation, yeah.
So there's multiplayer, but I don't think it's cross-platform. So we'd all need to be on the same system, which I'd be on a PS4. I think I assume you got a PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah, I got the 5.
But so now
Yeah.
here's the thing. I mean, mhm.
So
But for
it's
games like that, I mean, if we're all playing
We can
on
all just go online
PlayStation,
to a server,
you
right?
know,
yeah.
like
So if we're all playing on a PlayStation, we can all play together. And if we were like all playing on PC, we could all play together. But a PC player and a PlayStation player cannot play together.
Oh, I see.
so
Whereas
now
say something
Father
like
E has a PlayStation 5, and so do I.
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
so I think all of
We're on
us,
PlayStation. We could
since we all
play.
apparently have
We could.
PlayStation, I think we all could. But something like
Yes.
Fortnite, for instance, is cross-platform. So people like I could play on my computer, and my friend
Well,
could be
like
playing
we're
on his PlayStation, and we can play together.
and
Hmm.
World of Warcraft is like that too, right? Like
I have never played World of Warcraft because
I love
I
it.
know I would get addicted to it, and so I've just
It's
never
so
played it.
good. I've played it off and on throughout the years.
I would just get addicted, and I know it, and I don't want to I don't have time for that because I do this and I play Disney Dreamlight Valley on my Switch a lot. Although I'll be honest, I do that while I listen. I like to play cozy games while listening to audiobooks, and I'll just be like, basically be playing like a farming sim while I do that. Um, Fathery, because people are asking in the chat, Fathery, is the watch party for Tex-Trek this weekend?
Is it this
I
weekend?
don't know.
I had the schedule. This is Arthur, Space Cat.
Hey, Arthur. How are
Hi,
you,
Arthur.
baby?
He's doing good. He's like, whoop, he's gone. That's it. Enough.
Bye. That's the cat. My impression of the
Bye.
cat.
Bye.
God, I'm trying to think if there's anything we're missing. Apparently, it is at 3:30 CST.
I think we covered all the like major things.
Yeah.
But you know where you could get a deep dive of this episode?
Tex-Trek
Where?
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That's right here on Tex-Trek tomorrow night.
Withdrawn to Trek. Not to forget Aaron's contribution.
Yep, absolutely. So check it out. I used to work in radio. I just have these like transitions. They're in me. I don't know how it happens. It just
They're just waiting to come out. Waiting. It's just always waiting for a good way to do a
segue. Or,
yeah, a good segue.
Speaking of segues, I have to get going, but I will.
That is totally fair.
But I will still be able to hear you when I leave.
Okay.
I just promised my mom I would do something with her, and then I'm gonna hop on the salon. I'll come on late. I'll probably be even. I'm not drunk right now. I'm kind of buzzed, so I'll probably be drunk by the time I hop on the salon. But
It's
and a
always
disaster. No, I'm not gonna be a disaster. I promise I won't be a disaster. But Rachel, thank you for having me on. This is so much
fun.
fun.
Of course.
It was so much fun to be with Braxton and like the audience and do text.
Bye, so hell.
Bye.
We'll have to talk some PS5 sometime, dude.
Yeah.
It was nice to
I'll
talk
have
to you
to-
tonight.
We do.
Maybe one day I will upgrade to a PS5, but I got a free PS4 out of my brother, so that seemed better.
Dude, the PS4 is just as good. I mean, it's good in its own right, so
Yeah.
you're good.
Well, I
A
feel like it's
PS5 is way better than a PS4.
I know, but let's
Like-
just
Yeah.
like
When I started
appreciate-
playing
Yeah, that's
PS5, it was
that's why-
amazing the difference.
That's why the PS4 is free that I got
Yeah, exactly.
out of my brother.
That's a good idea.
I,
All right, see you guys.
This
Oh,
way I
do we
can-
rate on this show? No, we don't do ratings, right? Like
you can if you want to. I don't have got rules.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
What? All right, all right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye. Do you have any last thoughts that you have, Braxton?
None besides another fun episode with our lower deckers. It was
Mhm.
really cool to see. So I thought that Boimler actually might have been dead because I just think of like Jack Quaid, like he feels like a big star to me now. I was like, okay, well, I could
There
imagine
was
Jack Quaid.
A hot second where I was like, "Is Boimler dead? No, right?" Like,
I mean, I was like, okay, I could imagine Jack Quaid like leaving this show and Boimler is dead. But then I was like, of course, Boimler's not going to be dead. And then the
I would
doctor
feel
brings him
like
back.
more likely it would be like he goes to a different ship so they could maybe bring him back to come. But I also he seems to enjoy doing the show, and also he can't film. You can still make this show right now, and you can't make it a lot of the other shows he's on.
But I thought this was another fun
That-
episode. I like Captain Freeman and like her
Mhm.
coming in and messing stuff up, dude, being messy.
I did. I really enjoyed this episode, and it's just like a fun. It's just like really fun. I like. It is. I say this. I think about every Star Trek episode. I'm just like. I just wish there was more. Like more Lower Decks. I wish we had longer seasons.
You want like 14, 16 episodes.
Yeah, I'm not saying I get why 22 is hard.
Hmm.
I would like a 13 to 16. I think is the actual good. This is true. There is another Boimler out there. Oh, interestingly, we didn't talk about this. I was interested that it was interesting to me they didn't do the like teaser for like whatever that mystery box is. With the ship destroying the other ships.
Oh yeah. That we'll have to wait for for
Yeah.
another week.
Are there only 10? I'm not positive. I think there's 10 episodes in the season. I would have to do a quick Google to see if that is right.
Hmm.
Um apparently Joel got it for me. Yes, there are 10 episodes this season. I'm not saying 10 is like decent size for an hour show. I think 10 hours to me 10 episodes to me is feels a little low for a half hour show. Because that's only like 5 hours of content
Yep. Totally.
as opposed to 10. That's
Totally.
yeah. Um yes, that's as Aaron's saying, I think 16 like the first season of the animated series would be nice.
Yeah. 16 episodes would be great.
I I think we have maybe course corrected away for 22 episodes a little too much to like the 8 to 10 is like a little low. Unless like cuz at first you would shows with really short season but they would be shows like Sherlock which had like hour and a half like feature length episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I feel like maybe I want basically I want more filler cuz filler is usually where character development happens.
Yeah, heck yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, my only complaint at the end of every Star Trek season is I would like more, please. Basically, I'm spoiled and want more of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, and I also maybe I'll stick with Sohel's and agree with like 10 out of 10. I really loved the episode.
Oh wow, high praise, high praise. You
Mhm.
think it's better than the first two?
Oh no, maybe I was just making them all 10 out of 10. I'm just being
Mm,
very casual about it.
You know, so I was gonna say that maybe this was like an 8 for me. Like I felt like
That's a good score.
I liked it. You know, I don't yeah, I don't know if I liked it as much as like the first two. But I thought it
That's
was
fair.
it was fun.
hmm It's fun, and especially like I feel like a lot of shows these days, can be a bummer. So when something I was like, I don't know, it made me laugh. That's
Totally.
um
We didn't get enough
I
Mariner this episode.
you know what? I agree. I could use more Mariner.
Mhm.
Tony Newson is always just like amazing.
Oh, she's so good. She's so good.
But it's also like one of those. Like the ensemble is so good that I'm like also why I want more episodes to like be able to feature people more than like they're able to be when they're in like. There's a pretty large cast on this show,
There is a big cast on the show. That's true. Mhm.
which it's hard when they're all good. So you want them all to be featured, but like that's not necessarily always possible.
Rachel, you're making me yawn. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
It's good the
It's a
cat
long
was
day
here to
at
kind of
work.
cover.
I had like 3 meetings. No, I had like 5 meetings today.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, you were in meetings all day.
Basically, half of the
Hmm.
meetings were like training people, but like, um, the ring world's weird. You know what? I'll be honest, Joel. I don't know how ring world should act.
Mm. Mm.
Um, yeah. And I'm really interested to see what happens next week because I'm interested to see if the mystery box thing will come back in the next episode.
When is it gonna come back? I don't
Yeah.
know. So interesting, you know.
I don't know. I'm like,
Mhm.
also, I want to know what it is because it's a mystery box, so it's mystery. It's working. I want to know.
I mean, how many episodes can they hold it? I feel like we're gonna get it next week.
I maybe at least we'll get like I feel like we'll at least get another teaser for it next week.
Hmm. Hmm. Hopefully.
Um, yeah, I think that's it. I think we basically talked about everything in the episode.
All right. All right. Well, hey, then
Yeah,
maybe we'll go ahead and sign off, and we'll see
yeah.
each other
Well,
next week for the next great episode of
yeah.
Track. And
Uh,
we should also maybe be in contact if you download Star Trek Online.
yes.
Mhm.
Definitely. I need to. I'm like looking. My TV's over there. I'm like, I need to
Oh my
set it up.
gosh! Like, what about if like me, you, Sohail, and Father Reed could be like operating on one ship?
That would. I guess that's not really how Star Trek Online works. You have like each have
Oh,
your own ship, but like
mm,
you can work together
mm.
on stuff. And it's been also a good 4 years since I played this game. So like, I also okay. This is just a thing. I always have trouble when I switch between a PS4 and my Switch because like the buttons are switched.
Yeah.
I might need to just see if I can mess with the settings of one to make the settings the same for both of them.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because
Hey, we'll get it together.
okay, it's like the run button is opposite on each. So then I'm like, I'm running. Oh, I'm not. Um. Yeah. Stan is starting the salon, so we'll probably be in the audience there. But
The
thank you for joining us.
salon. Good night,
Good
guys. Thank
night.
you, Rachel.
Live long and